All right, I'm actually seeing waveforms now, so that's a better volume.
That's good. Are they good-sized waveforms, or are they still small ones?
They're pretty dinky. I turned my gain up a bit too, so we'll see how that works out.
Dinky Waveforms. There's the show title already.
So, as I was telling you earlier, I just installed Monterey earlier today, and hopefully it stays stable for me, and hopefully I can survive using this new version of Safari for our show.
I've heard all sorts of things about how bad it is.
I am not immediately a fan of it. With just the way tabs work now, I actually like it on my phone quite a bit, and I wanted to give, I forget what it's called, tab groups, I guess, a real try. And because with this redesign of Safari, they're kind of rethinking the way that web browsing is done in general, and keeping groups of tabs open is not something that I've ever done in the past. But it seems to be that the school of thought is you do that instead of saving a bunch of bookmarks.
Is that what they're going for? I have
That seems to
absolutely
be it.
no idea what tab group is.
Like you don't know what they are, how they work.
No, I've seen the little arrows in the tab menu and the little plus button at the bottom of iOS Safari, but what new empty tab group? I've got a plus button for that. Like, what does that even mean? New tab group from 5 tabs.
Yeah, so it's like a group of tabs. So you can start like a whole new browser session and browse the internet and open new tabs like that. And then when you're ready, like you're ready to do something else, but you don't want to lose all those tabs you have open because maybe you're researching something. You start a new tab group and you name this one. Like I'm considering building my own keyboard. And so I've been looking at how you do that, what motherboard I'd want to use, what mechanical switches I would want, what keycaps I want. And as I research those, I've been putting them in my keyboard tab group. So my regular day-to-day browsing, I have, whatever the default tab group is for each of my devices, but they all have access to my keyboard tab group. I tap into that, it opens up all the tabs that I have that I've been researching for making my own keyboard. So in the past, I would have just, made bookmarks for those websites that I was looking at, but now they're just kind of open tabs I can always switch back to.
So they are very much like bookmark folders then.
Right.
I don't really use those either though, so it's probably just a feature that's not for me. I don't, like, when you're doing research for something, I don't find that I'm on a particular page all the time that I want to go back to. Maybe I'd have like the home page for a topic-specific forum, and then I guess if there are a couple of forums that all related to this one topic, I could just have the homepage for all of them. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I guess it might save me like half a second instead of just typing in the URL.
I mean, I might not be the target demographic for this either, because this whole like keyboard research I kind of invented as a reason to use a tab group. But I understand the motivation behind it, because this is a thought that I've had in the past about where a web browser belongs in like my day-to-day computer usage now, because a lot of the websites that I would have visited 10 years ago are standalone applications now. I've got a Twitter app, I've got a Facebook app, I've got a Reddit app, I've got eBay and whatever else. So I very rarely go to Safari on my phone, especially, but even more so on my computer now that things like the iOS apps are being ported to my Mac. I very rarely go to Safari for my regular day-to-day usage outside of, programming research or something like that for work. So I can understand the motivation behind wanting to rethink how a traditional browser works now that it's a little bit more of a utility, and a lot of the common consumption usages of a browser have been kind of split out into standalone applications.
So what do you mean? Like, what is the point of the browser now if all the things that you visit are in apps? Well, and how does tab groups fit into that? It's not really clear to me.
Yeah, I'm not saying that I completely align with their solution. I'm just saying I understand the motivation for wanting to rethink a browser.
Okay.
But yeah, a browser primarily for me is a research tool now. Like if I'm opening just straight Safari, it's usually to go to Google for something, and I guess that's just because I've never installed the Google app. But so majority of the time I've got a bunch of tabs open because I'm doing work stuff. So I don't know how a tab group aligns with that, honestly, because my projects at work are short-lived. But I could understand if I was in the middle of research for work, especially now that I use my personal computer for work most of the time. When my day is over at work, maybe I am in the middle of something, and I don't want to close all of that, but I don't want to have a bunch of work tabs open in my leisure hours while I'm just browsing the web either. So the idea of I can put those in a separate group and not see them until I reopen that group tomorrow could be at least nice for clearing some clutter.
Clutter is exactly how I see tabs, and I treat them kind of like how I treat my physical desktop and my computer's desktop. The fewer there are, the better at all times.
Right.
I had a thought
agree.
when you're talking about work, like maybe a tab group for work would be good. I could have like Jira, Confluence, Office 365, admin, I don't know, a few other things. But then I think about how I actually work, and I just am relentlessly closing a tab as soon as I finished any small task, which may not be as efficient, but I just don't like control tabbing through tabs at any time. I really try and keep my focus on just the one thing that I'm doing at any amount of time. So tabs are just pruned constantly. So I tab groups doesn't fit into that sort of workflow in any way that I can think of.
I think you and I have a similar mentality when it comes to things like that. But I also know that I have lots of people in my life, friends, family, coworkers, that I see they have 50 plus tabs open in their browser, and that drives me crazy. And so maybe being able to group those tabs into groups is, for those kind of people.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen screenshots of people, and people just use open tabs as the bookmark, that sort of behavior.
Right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure those people are going to end up as serial killers later down the line.
Right. Yeah, that disregard for organization is a red flag. The one thing I really don't like is just how ambiguous clicking on tabs are. First of all, this is the most tabs I've had open, just all of our topics for today, and you lose context of what the tabs are so much faster now that everything is fighting for space in the same one horizontal bar. It's not that many tabs, like maybe a dozen tabs I've opened with the Reddit posts and their corresponding articles. And I basically have the favicons and the first like 5 letters of each tab, and that's all I see.
And they probably all say like Apple.
Yeah,
just looking at our topics
start
today.
with Apple.
3 of the 5 start with Apple.
Yep. So, and I don't know if I mind it yet, but it's definitely getting used to the fact that the URL bar moves with whatever the active tab is. That's just a complete change of behavior that I'm used to.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Yeah, I'm just going to have to try it, I think. How's the rest of Monterey, so besides Safari? Stable enough for a daily drive?
I'll have a more conclusive answer after this, because I just installed it a few hours ago, so I haven't.
We're doing it live.
Much. Yep. I was disappointed. I didn't realize this ahead of time, and maybe I wouldn't have installed it. But Universal Control is not in the betas yet.
Okay. That's where you can drag your mouse through the membrane to the iPad.
Uh-huh. Yep. That was the very first thing I tried to do, and it didn't work, and then I Googled it, and not in the betas yet.
Disappointing.
Yep.
Are you on the development or the public beta?
I'm on the developer beta.
Cool. Well, I suppose give us some more info next show about how Monterey's going.
Yeah. I'll probably end up trying to do some work on here between now and then, so I'll have a more cohesive answer for you.
In follow-up, last show I said I spoke French, and it was meant to be a joke, but as I was listening back, it sounded like I was deadly serious. I don't speak French. I just thought I wanted to clarify that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you had something more insightful to tell us when you put language in the follow-up notes.
Did you think I was joking?
No, I totally believed you.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you do speak a few languages.
English and a little bit of German, just by hearing it all day, every day. Yeah, but no French in the mix.
Okay, good to know.
Do you have any follow-up from last show?
No, I don't believe so.
You haven't been on any more clubhouses?
No, I have. I've gotten a couple notifications from Clubhouse in the last couple weeks, but it's always prompting me to join. There's a fake Elon Musk Twitter account that I follow, and that seems to be the only person that still uses Clubhouse. Because whenever they're starting some kind of Clubhouse room, I get a notification, and I'm just not interested in that. So
I wonder what he's talking about.
I don't know. I haven't even given it a shot. What about you? Have you tried Clubhouse?
No, I've kind of forgotten it was there, and I've received a total of 0 notifications to remind me that it was there.
Yeah, I think we missed out on the hype. It had a good run, and then every other social media app is like tried to cannibalize it already, and it's kind of already died.
Yeah, the mentions on other social media of Clubhouse have just fallen off a cliff. For a couple of weeks there, it was, every other person was posting about their upcoming chat in Clubhouse. And nowadays, I don't think I've seen a mention for like a month now, probably.
Yeah, I've seen more people do the Clubhouse clone in Twitter. And I think even Discord now has its own Clubhouse-like functionality in it. So,
really, in Discord?
Yeah, I'm not a big Discord user. Like this podcast is pretty much the one time I open it up. But I saw something the other day about. It was prompting me to browse like public channels to listen in on chats or something. It sounded Clubhousey.
I'm looking for anything that might give me some info, but not seeing anything in Discord. Could be interesting though. Could use it for the show potentially.
Yeah. If you on the left bar where you've got your servers, the very bottom one is explore public servers.
That's been there for ages though, hasn't it?
Oh, okay. I don't know. Like I said, I don't use Discord.
No, me either. How many networks are you a member of?
Well, I've got our server for the podcast. I've got a work server that whenever we do like a department gets together and plays some kind of game, we do it on there. There's a couple others that I've joined over the years I just haven't ever looked at. Like I'm on the official r/Apple Discord server. It's here, but I've never browsed it. I've got one that just like a group of friends that we used in like high school to play games, but I haven't used in a long time. There's one for Kansas Fest, which is the annual Apple II get together event that happens every year. And a couple barbershop ones that I'm in the middle of a bunch of drama in right now that's been driving me crazy.
Barbershop drama. Oh, this sounds juicy.
So I'm the moderator of the barbershop subreddit, one of them. And for the last 3 or 4 years, there's been an official, like quote unquote official, barbershop Discord server. And I've never used Discord, but it's been in our sidebar on the subreddit. And had someone reach out to me on Reddit the other day saying that there was a lot of hate speech and other things going on in the Discord server. And saying that as a solution to that, this person started their own barbershop Discord server, and they want me to replace the link with their new one. So I talked over with the mods, and we just removed it because we don't want to be associated with that. And so we're in the middle of researching these two servers and trying to decide if we want to affiliate with either of them or just be uninvolved.
Okay. I guess the easy way out is just to remove the link from the sidebar.
Right. Yep. And that's our temporary solution until we can come up with something better.
Did you have a look at what the hate speech was?
I've seen some of the discussions that have been referenced, and I've had more people reach out to me since then about it. A big problem with barbershop is that it's an older, like, art form singing style. And a lot of the songs that are considered classics of barbershop were contemporary to when that style was started in like the early 1900s. And a lot of the songs, by nature of when they were written and when they came to being, have racist lyrics in them. And And so there's people, older people, maybe more conservative people in the society, in the like the barbershop realm, that think that it's okay to still sing those songs because it's like out of a sense of tradition, or they're classics or whatever, and there's just everyone else is like, no, you can't do that. you can't sing those
racism's
songs.
Not a tradition that needs to be upheld.
Right. And then there's the gray areas, like, well, what if we change the racist parts of the lyrics? And it's like, well, people still think the song itself is offensive, and so anyway, people have discussions like that, and it gets heated, and then people come to me and they're like, you're a mod, do something about it. So, yeah. Anyway, I'd rather not be associated with it.
Fair enough. Shall we talk about Apple topics?
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you finding your AirTags? Do they meet your expectations? Why or why not do you recommend them? A question, or 3 questions, 4 questions if you count the title, posed by Ball and Biscuit. Almost said Ballander Biscuit, on the Apple subreddit. Received quite a few comments, mostly which consisted of AirTags are great because you attach them to something and you're guaranteed not to have lost that thing ever again.
Right, yeah.
Which is definitely my case as well. I've moved my AirTags around quite a few times now. Had them on the dog temporarily, I had them in my bag, but now they're on my keys, and I think I'm happy with having them on my keys because they are the thing that gets lost, although not since the AirTags have been on them. And we should talk as well about the separation alert. But the other main theme in the topic is that some sort of family sharing would be very welcome, because people are getting all sorts of annoying alerts, just because their partner took the keys for the car and stuff like that.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that prior to running the beta, I'm not a person that loses things very often, almost ever. So I just bought AirTags because they're the new shiny thing that Apple made. So I didn't find much utility in having them attached to my keys and bag and things like that. But after I got the beta and the separation alert came out, that has really added some utility for me. Especially now with this summer, I'm taking the kids to the pool a lot and try to leave as many things like in my car as possible when I go to the pool, because I don't want to have a phone or wallet, whatever, unattended in a bag next to the pool while I'm swimming with the kids. So the fact that even my watch will tell me when I like walk too far away from my car keys, or I can be like assured that if my car keys were to start walking away, my watch would ding me very quickly. That's been kind of a neat peace of mind to have recently. But that's about the only utility I've found in the AirTags so far.
I've been trying to think what the separation alerts could make the AirTags more useful to attach to, but haven't come up to anything yet.
Mm-hmm.
But there's got to be something. I've yet to explore the possibility of attaching it to a child. Because
seems like it could work.
It seems like it could work. But recently the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission issued a safety precaution regarding AirTags and children, urging parents to keep AirTags away from children because they don't quite make the buttons, the coin cell battery, secure enough.
Really?
Yes.
I would have imagined that they were fairly safe. They've got kind of like almost like a pill bottle mechanism where you got to push down and twist, which I would have thought.
I've got a suspicion that there are some manufacturing variations in the push and twist mechanism, because I can simply, with like the friction of my fingers on the back, twist it, and that action has enough force to press in the back and defeat that mechanism, just the action of twisting it. So it's kind of redundant, the whole pushing part of that action. I would easily believe that my 15-month-old would be able to get the back off it if left alone with it for a long enough amount of time, and then probably proceed to put it in his mouth, because that's what he does.
Right.
Yeah.
So what you need is one of those AirTag cases.
In fact, I do have one. I think I sent you a picture. I got the brown leather keychain. Yeah. To be able to attach it to my keys.
Right.
So yeah, we'll see what happens to AirTags with regards to the safety of the battery. Currently, the Australian law, which only came into effect last year, is a guideline, but it becomes mandatory next year in June. So who knows if something will happen to AirTags in Australia after the safety, what do you call it? Safety regulations come into effect, which requires a two-step mechanism.
What does a two-step mechanism entail? Does push and twist count as two steps?
Yeah, push and twist counts as two steps.
Okay, so if Apple just made it a little harder to open, then it would pass those requirements?
I believe it would, yep.
All right. That seems like something they could do.
Yeah, it should be pretty easy.
Yeah. So, yeah, I haven't placed an AirTag on a child yet either. Yeah, the problem with the separation alerts is that the most valuable things that I would want to be notified about being separated from already have it built in. So
being watch and phone?
Right. So, I mean, if I had one thing I wish I could add an AirTag to, it'd be my wallet, but I just can't fit an AirTag in there. So if they make thin, like credit card sized one, that would be great.
That was actually noted by Liam Boiling in the comments, wishing there was a credit card sized one for the wallet. A lot of people try and go thin as possible for the wallet because, if you're sitting on it, you don't want your hips to eventually end up lopsided because you're sitting on like a half-inch thick wallet all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So a thin one. And Tile make a thin one, like a credit card size one, don't they?
Yes, they do. Yep.
So it's possible. Speaking of Tile, another sentiment commonly expressed in this thread is that tiles can ping the device they're attached to. So if you lost your phone, but you had the tile tracker, you could reverse ping the phone, which just sounds like I wouldn't use it, but apparently it's a very handy little tool to have that reverse ping.
Yeah, I mean, I frequently ping my phone from my watch. So if I didn't have my watch, I would be struggling to find my phone. Like when it falls out of my pocket in between the cushions in the couch or something.
Ah, always. Yep.
Yep.
The other sentiment that I saw expressed is that the actual UWB tracking part of the thing seemed like, better in a tech demo than in real life, and that the audio alerts are much more useful. And just from my hide and seek games with Johannes, I would agree with that, because they don't really kick in until you're pretty close already, definitely within hearing distance of the AirTag.
Right. Yeah, I've been pretty disappointed and I guess just underwhelmed with the ultra-wideband technology, because my impression was, and I guess this is back when it was being put in everything but not used for anything, my impression of ultra-wideband was that it was going to be, I don't know, maybe at least the size of a room. I could be on opposite ends of the room, but it's really, you got to be within a few feet of something before it really locks in and shows you where things are.
Exactly, yeah. One of the other comments from another hyphen light says that you can actually say, "Yo Siri, where are my X?" And that works. I wasn't aware of that. So you can say, like, "Where are my keys?" And then what do you get? Say from a HomePod.
Well, I've never done it from a HomePod, but from my phone, it'll beep them.
Oh, okay. I wonder if that would work from a HomePod.
I would imagine so. So, yeah, that's a useful feature. It's something that I wish would come to just find my devices in general. Because more than I'm looking for my keys or something like that, I'm looking for one of the kids' iPods. And I very frequently, for years, have had to open the Find My app, go to their device, click play a sound so that I can find it. If I could ask Siri to do that, that would be awesome.
You can ask Siri to do that.
Oh, really?
I use that all the time.
Uh-oh.
I haven't for a while, but wait, let me think about it.
You can have it chime a family member's device.
Ah, no. So, all right. Chime a family member's device.
Right, because the kids all have their own Apple IDs, and they're like children on my account.
Yeah. Okay, no, I'm not sure about that. I've definitely used it to chime my own phone, of course, but...
Okay. It's been a while, like maybe a year or two since I've tried it last, but yeah, my last attempt did not work.
You want to try it live?
I don't have any of the kids' devices here. They're at their mom's house.
I can just annoy Yasmin wherever she is.
There you go.
All right, here we go. Where is Yasmin's iPhone? What's it going to do? I can't tell if it's nearby. Should I try to play a sound on it anyway? And then an option to play a sound. Cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That'll
Looks
save
doable.
me a bit of time. At least a couple steps.
I think we can move on from AirTags. Apple's TV service faces its biggest test yet as free trials run out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've kind of lost track of where you are with your Apple subscriptions and if you've got Apple One or what are you doing these days?
Yeah, I have Apple One.
You do? Okay.
Yep.
So your Apple TV, your TV Plus is just bundled in with that. It's more or less a freebie then?
Yep.
Okay.
It's been extra freebie because I pay for Apple One every month, and then Apple sends me a rebate for like $5, like a refund on my card, because I've still apparently got Apple TV Plus for free because of something I've bought recently or something.
Is that a thing?
Yep.
Amazing. Wow, okay. There you go.
So, have you watched any Apple TV Plus shows recently?
I certainly have.
Okay.
The second season of Mythic Quest just finished. So I've been watching that fairly religiously.
Okay. What did you think about the second season?
It It definitely meandered. There were
Yes.
some episodes that were just definitely not part of the regular storyline, but they were also quite interesting as well in their own right. The show writers are just entertaining. The stuff that they put out is just good, so it's quite easy to watch, even if it doesn't really continue the storyline. It was nice just to have the backstory, for instance, of one of the characters, and
Right.
it made the following episodes, which were part of the storyline, just more engaging or deeper. Just having that backstory.
Yeah, I think
they did
that episode was my favorite, the backstory episode.
That was your favorite of all the episodes?
Of the season, at least, yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
Season 2 is definitely a bit of a split from what season 1 was. Mythic Quest initially felt like it was really trying to ride on the wave that Silicon Valley started, and season 2 is definitely a lot more, I don't know, character driven, relationship driven than like a TV show about a tech company writing software or doing techie things. Even season 1 wasn't quite the same as like a Silicon Valley level show was, but I feel like they're really doing a lot of character building in season 2 to build up to some exciting things in season 3.
They left us on a cliffhanger, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited for season 2 of Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso is a great show.
That's due out this month, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're here at the end of July. But
the Morning Wars, or the morning show, depending on which country you're in.
Oh, that's right.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah. I'll definitely watch season 2 of the morning show. I'll probably watch season 2 of C, although I might want to rewatch season 1. It's been so long now, and I don't quite remember all the details of the storyline. But other than that, I haven't watched too many of their shows. Not a lot has stood out to me as something I really wanted to watch.
An excellent one for the kids is Stillwater. I think I might have mentioned that in the past, but that's a great one for the little ones. But yeah, also besides that, there are a couple of movies that I watched.
Okay.
Actually, I watched Snoopy because there's some Snoopy on there as well.
Uh-huh.
But none of the other like leading or shows that they used in a lot of marketing, like See For All Mankind, and that really caught my attention past a couple of episodes.
You know what? Now that I'm looking through it, The Banker was a good movie. If you haven't watched that one.
No, watch that. That was good.
The kids loved Wolfwalkers. They watched it a bunch of times when it first came out.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a couple good movies on there that I just forgotten about. But yeah, the problem is just the library is so small compared to any other streaming platform.
You can scroll through the TV Plus page and just know everything that's on there. Like, imagine thinking you could do that with Netflix. Every time you go to Netflix, there's something I've never heard of before. TV Plus has to just have way more stuff to get people to subscribe to it standalone. So I can only imagine that people with Apple One are going to be TV Plus subscribers by default, and basically no one else will subscribe, or maybe just like ad hoc just to watch the new season of the morning show, and then cancel it the next month. A lot of people seem to do that anyway. I'm not really in that boat, but a lot of people just jump on one thing to watch one thing and then cancel the next month and jump on to the next.
Yeah, I really thought when TV Plus was released and they gave everyone a free year that their plan was to do that so that in that year's time they could either buy a studio or the rights to a lot of shows and really build up their library, so it was something worth paying for by the time that came around. But I don't feel like we've gotten to that point. I will say that I think that everything on TV Plus is quality, which is a lot more than something like Hulu, which I think most of the shows on Hulu I would generally don't think are great. But yeah, there's just so few choices that even if you liked every single show, you could get through them quickly enough and then just stop paying for TV Plus because there's nothing else to watch.
I agree with that. Everything on there, it seems to be quality.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you look at Netflix, half the stuff on there is just some crap that they paid to have produced because it fills in a niche. A certain it's a certain type of show that a niche group of people like to watch, but it's actually just really bad. Mm-hmm. And a lot of their shows are just rip-offs, like blatant rip-offs of other shows as well.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Apple TV Plus stuff seems to be mostly original and to a very high standard. And I don't think anyone will subscribe.
They have won a lot of awards, though.
Yeah. I don't think that'll ever translate into ongoing subscriptions, though.
Yeah. I just don't see a way forward for Apple if they're trying to fill TV Plus with only original content. They're going to have to buy either the rights to a bunch of stuff or a studio or something so they can just have a backlog.
I think you said the exact same thing 12 months ago as well.
Yeah, well, I was right. Or at least I'm still sticking by it.
So yeah, mine's running out 19th of July, so I've got a few weeks of it left.
And you know what? I'll say that I feel this way about most of their services. I've got Apple One, but I don't read News Plus. I get all the utility out of Apple Arcade I get is that my kids play the games on their iPods and sometimes on my TV and like it. So I think Apple Music is probably the one that I use the most. And then everything else is a waste of money, especially if you're paying for them separately and not part of the bundle.
Including Fitness Plus?
I will definitely admit that I have not used Fitness Plus recently. Which you would know. You would get a notification if I did anything on Fitness Plus.
I actually turned off friend notifications because one of my other friends likes to go on 800-meter walks and track every single one of them. So, hi, Anton, if you're listening. Didn't mean that to be offensive, but I've turned them off.
He starts to work every time he walks to the mailbox.
So no, I wouldn't even know if you were doing them or not.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I have.
Although I think I'd be able to see in the fitness app if you're doing it right.
I would assume so. I'm pretty sure that I can open it and see my friend's activity on there.
Doesn't look like it's got, or maybe because you haven't done. Oh yeah, okay.
Go back
so
far enough.
Here we go. So I just went to yesterday and I clicked on you, and I thought, oh, maybe it doesn't show activities or workouts, but maybe you haven't done any. So I went to before mentioned Anton workouts yesterday. Yoga with Molly, high intensity interval training with Anya, strength with Sam, core with Kyle.
Really? Wow.
He's been quite active.
That sounds
well done,
like it.
Anton. So you definitely see them, and you're
making
definitely
me look bad,
alerts.
Anton.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Reminds me of when the fitness competitions were added a few years ago, and I think probably it was still in the betas. I think you and I were doing the fitness competitions, and they weren't capped as they are now, because I think now with fitness competitions there's a max number of points you can earn in a day, and
That's
once you hit. So you can just tie if you're both active every day. But when we were doing it in the betas, there was no cap, and so it was a real competition to try to keep up with you because we were both going well over whatever that threshold was.
That's right. And looking at our stats now, it's 3-0 to me.
Oh man. Well, maybe if we do the fitness competition again, I would have a reason to do Fitness Plus.
Hey, maybe we could. That'd be interesting.
All right, we'll do it.
Actually, just to go back to Anton for a second, we did one fitness competition together. It got to the last day, and and it was pretty neck and neck, but it was the case that because of the cap, I would have to max out, and if he also maxed out, he would win, right? So there wasn't enough of a gap for it to be a what am I trying to say? You know what I mean.
Yeah.
If we both maxed out, he would win. And so what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, if you're doing a contest against a very active person, you have to max out every day and just hope you tie them. Otherwise, you're just going to lose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what it was like. But anyway, I thought he's been coasting probably for 6 days. So on the 7th day, I'm going to do something like really late and just max out my numbers and beat him, like pip him at the post. So at like 8:30 p.m. on a Tuesday night or whenever it's ending, I went on like a 15k walk, something absolutely ridiculous like that, just to max out. And I maxed it out, and then like, I don't know, 15 minutes later, he maxed his out as well and won the competition. So it was a pointless, I don't think it was 15Ks, but it was probably like 8Ks, something crazy like that, and he beat me.
Wow.
I don't know, it was disappointing.
I definitely
for me.
Understand the reasoning for the cap, though. Otherwise, people might be tempted to overexert themselves and then blame Apple's competition for pushing them too much. And so,
yeah, there's definitely that aspect of it as well.
Yeah.
So did I hear you say you wanted to have another competition?
Sure. Let's do it.
All right, you're on.
Maybe I'll actually win one.
Then my competitive side comes out and I max out every day. We'll see.
I'll have to get up and go on an early walk in the morning. Because you'll be a whole day ahead of me the whole competition, I assume.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. That could give you an advantage on the last day, though.
I can get my last points in while you're asleep, and there's no chance for you to catch up.
So the next post is a bit of a Groundhog Day, but new AirPods and MacBooks due to launch later this year. Not really sure why I put this in here, but I thought we could talk about it again before they inevitably get released later on.
Yeah, these have been due to launch pretty much all year.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So apparently there's a lot of supply shuffling because they were going to be released earlier this year, but due to probably chip shortages, you would guess, it's been moved to later on in the year.
I will say that I've been disappointed at the rate Apple Silicon's been rolling out, just as compared to the Intel transition. Because when Steve Jobs announced the transition from PowerPC to Intel, he said the same thing that they said last year, which is it's going to be a 2-year process. And then in 1 year's time, they had been all switched over already. So I was kind of hoping that Apple was going to be similarly ambitious with this one, and we would see majority of devices already transitioned over by the 1 year mark, and maybe with the exception of the Mac Pro or something. But
you have to wonder if the chip shortage has played a large role in that.
Yeah, I'm sure it hasn't helped. That and just all of the other manufacturing and logistic issues that have come up as a result of the last couple of years.
So 12 months in, and they've basically released the non-Pro versions of everything. So we have new Mac Mini, MacBook Air, and the bottom, the MacBook Pro, and the small iMac. So what's left is the bigger iMac, you'd say 2 sizes of higher spec MacBook Pros, and the Mac Pro. Is that all we're waiting for?
Yeah. Yeah, we're just
okay.
I mean, and everything's like in the perspective of even these consumer level devices are more powerful than the old pro level devices in a lot of categories. It kind of blurs the lines a bit, but it also has just made me especially extremely optimistic to see what a pro Apple Silicon device is capable of. And And maybe it's just the wait has been killing me. It feels like it's been even longer.
Yeah, that could be it. So, yeah, 12 months since the announcement. 12 months to go. Yeah. It feels like they're halfway through to me.
Yeah. No, I think they are where they need to be to still be on their announced timeline. I was just hoping that they were going to be faster than that.
Do you have your eyes on the 14 or the 16-inch MacBook Pro?
Probably the 14. I've been really loving my 13-inch. I always thought 13-inch was like the ideal form factor in terms of like ultimate portability, and so I've been really happy to get back to this after carrying 15-inch ones for the last 5 or 6 years. And I think I'd be hard pressed to go any bigger, especially now with how powerful these computers are. 13 inches is meets all my needs, so I don't have any reason to reach for the bigger one.
Yeah.
What about you? Are you going to get a new laptop?
It's going to depend heavily on which ports they have included. Okay. Because my fingers are just crossed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, that it's going to come with an SD card reader built into the laptops. And if that's the case, I'll happily get a new one. But if not, I'm going to just hold on to my laptop with an SD card reader for as long as possible, I think. Probably until it dies.
Well, all signs are pointing to you getting your wish.
Yeah, so if they announce it, I think, although I have a 15-inch laptop now, and I do love the size, when I got this one, I was not an external monitor user, so I just went like as big as possible. But now that Yasmin's had to get an external monitor for work, and so just by default I use it for work as well now, because we just alternate on the desk. I think I'll just get the smaller laptop and just plug it in. There's no need for me to have a big screen on the laptop anymore.
Right. Yeah. Cool.
So that's my thinking. AirPods wise, so a new design. We've talked about it before, but potentially more like the Pros, but without the noise cancelling aspect of it. Yeah.
These are good. Killing me. I've been in need of an AirPods replacement for 6 months now, and I keep putting it off, thinking these are just around the corner. So it's going to be the moment I buy AirPods that the new ones come out.
Yeah.
So it's my fault they're not here yet.
So on a slightly gross topic, do you have any issue keeping the grill of your AirPods clean?
Let me see. I got them right here. I'll pull them out. No, they're generally pretty clean.
Okay.
I'm pretty religious about cleaning my ears. Like, that's the very first thing I do every morning I get out of the shower is I take Q-tips. I know you're not supposed to, but I clean out my ears. So I rarely have things in my ear pods.
A wise person once said you should put nothing smaller than your elbow in your ear.
A wise person must have had disgusting ears.
I do clean my ears every day, but
yeah,
I also have trouble keeping that grill clean.
Really?
And it's not just me. There are other people in this house which have similar issues. And I would say, actually, whose AirPods degraded into unusability because of it.
Well, that's what you get for giving a 6-month-old AirPods.
So you're saying it's my fault?
Yeah. Paul should not be using AirPods yet.
My children are obsessed with AirPods for some reason.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It's like crack for them. I don't know, just the whole opening the case, take them out, put them back in, close the case, repeat, just ad nauseum.
I mean, there's something very satisfying about the way everything kind of magnetically snaps into place. I definitely play with them too. Well, have you tried sucking on your AirPods?
That's even worse. That's more disgusting.
I know, but so that's the suggested way to clean them out is like suck on them. At least if you read the subreddit.
The suggestion I heard was to get blue tack and kind of press it onto the grill to get the wax onto the blue tack, but I think that has the opposite effects and just pushes it further into the grill.
Right. Yeah, and it's only, even if it did work, it's only helpful for the stuff that is on the outside and hasn't already seeped through the grill.
Yeah, what do you do about that stuff?
You suck it out.
That's disgusting. I'm never ever going to do that.
I will just pay $200 for new AirPods instead of doing that.
I would.
Maybe that's something I should do once these new AirPods finally do come out. I'll open up my old ones and I'll see if maybe they're way grosser than I realize because it's all just on the inside.
Yeah, maybe. When you started the sentence, maybe I'll open up. I thought you were going to say like a little stall in a shopping centre where you just suck out the wax from people's AirPods for them. I was ready to vomit. I was on my way to get a bucket.
Someone needs to make like a little AirPod vacuum or something, a little suction thing that connects to the end of them.
Oh yeah, they already exist. You get like the candle with the like that's in a funnel, and then you like light one end of it, and it burns and sucks the wax out of the AirPods. Tell me you get that joke.
Yeah, I've seen that as like an ear cleaning method before.
Yeah. Just for AirPods. Amazing.
There you go. I bet someone with any kind of like CAD experience could make like a 3D printable vacuum attachment to like adapt your vacuum down to AirPod size and suck them out real easy.
Yep.
One of our talented listeners should get on that and then share their profits with the show.
Thanks. Yeah. So a redesigned Apple Watch Series 7 could prioritize longer battery life over additional sensors. So it looks like the system on a chip, system in a package, whatever you call it, in the Apple Watch is going to be getting smaller in the next version. But instead of potentially reducing the size of the Apple Watch itself, they could just stick in a bigger battery and get longer battery life. I think the Apple Watch is the only device which I look at and think, oh, you could be a lot thinner. You look like excessively chunky on my wrist. How about, we work on that size. So, I don't know what it's like having an always on display and what that's like for battery life, but just looking through the comments, it looks like most people get like a day and maybe into one night with newer Apple Watches. I think I said in the last show that I can pretty comfortably do 2 days. And if I utilize the theater mode, I can definitely get over that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, my number one wish for the Apple Watch would be give me a thinner watch, not more battery life or more sensors.
Well, I've not seen any corroborating rumors for this, but John Prosser had shared a couple months ago his like renders of what he was told the new Apple Watches would look like. Did you see that?
No, I didn't, but let me guess. It's going to have the same design as the iPhone 12.
Yeah, as every Apple device now, that same kind of squared off design language.
But that's what all the Android watches look like already.
Yeah, most smartwatches do kind of have more flat sides than Apple Watches. I'm terrified that a case redesign means that all my bands are not going to be compatible, though. So I'm happy with them just leaving Apple Watches the same forever.
I don't think changing the design of the watches necessarily mean the connector would change. I mean, it's a fairly standard-looking connector. It's not relying on any aspect of the watch itself to slot in there.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, and they've changed the case design slightly once already and maintained compatibility. I'm just worried that something more extreme, like squaring it off, could potentially... Maybe it's something they do deliberately for just selling a bunch of new bands reasons, but...
Right, this is the company that made a device which attaches to a keyring with no hole in it, so you had to buy a keyring holder that was more expensive than the device.
Right.
So yeah, I think a new band connector is probably on the cards then.
Man, I don't know what I'd do if that happened. Because I've got it similar to AirTags. It would, if I wanted to like maintain my band diversity, it would cost me more than a new Apple Watch to replace all my bands with newly compatible ones. So, but I'm pretty indifferent to the battery life of the Apple Watch. Maybe if it could get a little better, that'd be good, because my youngest likes to crawl around under my bed because I've kind of got like an elevated platform bed, and he'll unplug my Apple Watch charger when he's down there sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't know until I've woken up the next morning and find my watch not charged overnight. And I can usually make it like halfway through a second day with my Apple Watch. So if it could just make it through that whole second day without dying, that'd about be all the battery life I could ever need.
Okay. Well, if you just wore it to bed, you wouldn't have this issue of someone knocking it off the charger in the mornings. All right, sorry, in the evenings.
Yeah, I tried it once after our discussion last show, and it was fine. I just don't have any reason to. I don't care about my sleep metrics, and I'd rather just wake up to a charged watch.
You don't care about, what is it, the sleeping...
Oh, the respiratory rate?
Respiratory rate, yeah.
Let me look.
As I was editing that show where we talked about it,
mm-hmm.
I said at least twice that the metric was the breathing respiratory rate instead of the sleeping respiratory rate.
Let's see. I wore my watch, I think, that next night just so I could get that metric, and it was like 15 or 16. It was right in that range of normal.
Pretty high.
Is that high?
No, I have no idea.
So, but it didn't say anything like you just don't breathe when you're asleep, which is kind of what I was worried it was going to say.
That's right. You were worried about the sleep apnea.
Yeah. My sleeping's got a lot better since I lost a bunch of weight, so I think that probably helped.
Okay.
So, but yeah, when it didn't say that I was like in danger while I slept, I just didn't bother sleeping with my watch on anymore.
Yeah. How does your watch rate your cardio fitness?
I'm not sure. Is that some kind of metric in health?
Yeah. If you just go to summary, show all health data,
mm-hmm.
it'll give you all your metrics, which should include cardio fitness.
Let me look. I wish this was searchable so that I don't have to scroll around until I see the word. I don't even see cardio fitness on here. My toothbrushing is on here because I got a smart toothbrush.
Really? Awesome.
Yeah. It's the most useless statistic though. I got one of those Quip toothbrushes.
Never heard of it. Sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just a little smart toothbrush. They've made them for years, and they've been standalone smart toothbrushes until recently, where they're electric toothbrushes, so they vibrate when you're brushing your teeth, but they also have this like pulse pattern to like guide you on when to switch sides of your mouth and to make sure you're brushing long enough everywhere. And recently they came out with a smart one that pairs to your phone, and that's when I decided to get one. But all it does is save into my health app how long I brushed my teeth every day.
I suppose that's cool.
Yeah, I guess. The thing is though, like, because of the pulse guiding you through brushing your teeth, like it takes you through a 2-minute toothbrushing routine every day. So it just puts 2 minutes into my, like, it actually records how long it is, but it's always 2 minutes because that's how long the routine is.
Maybe you could start overachieving and going over 2 minutes.
I guess. I don't really... that's not true. I was going to say I don't get anything for that. But the Quip app actually does have a point system, and you get points for brushing your teeth like multiple times a day. and then those points you can turn in for discounts on like replacement toothbrush heads and floss and things like that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's another subscription service. I got to subscribe to the toothbrush head replacement, but it's like $5 every 3 months for a new toothbrush head.
See, that's one of the subscriptions I can get behind because it's not something you really think about doing. You just brush your teeth and then eventually the toothbrush looks like you should stop using it.
Right.
But if it just came regularly, you'd know, oh, wow, it's been 3 months since the last one arrived, so I guess here we go. Here's a new one.
Yeah, exactly. It's something that I would not bother to do until things got probably worse than they should. So, all right. So I found the cardio fitness measurement finally, and my
all right. I thought you'd given up.
No, I hadn't given up. It didn't show up in my summary. I had to search it under browse. I have an average level of low.
What's your VO2 max calculation?
My VO2 max calculation is 38.
Okay. Better than me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What is yours at?
Currently I'm at, let's see, hang on. I'll give my monthly average 35.
Interesting. And what is this metric?
It's the VO2 max, as it says.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 35 VO2 maxes is the plural as well.
Maximum amount of oxygen your body can consume during exercise.
The 35 square centimeters?
It says measuring VO2 max requires a physical test and special equipment. You can also get an estimated VO2 max with heart rate and motion data from a fitness tracker.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Weird.
Anyway, mine has plummeted in the last, since having a second child.
Oh, yeah?
It used to be mid-40s and even higher. But,
wow.
Yeah.
Well, mine skyrocketed after I started losing weight. If I go back,
Really?
If I go back to before I started my weight loss, it says my VO2 max was 25.
25? Wow, that
25.
sounds really bad.
Yeah, apparently. I still don't really fully understand what it's a measurement of, but yeah, I'm surprised that I'm higher than you. I would have. I mean, you're definitely like a generally fitter person than I am, so I would have assumed yours was higher.
I don't think so at the moment. I think you've jumped me in that game.
Well, we'll see after our contest, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see. It looks like it's milliliters per kilogram minute.
What?
So on to the next topic.
Okay.
Hang on, back to Quip toothbrushes. These look really cool, and they're just powered by a AAA battery instead of having a... Because I hate electric toothbrushes because it's so much mess in the bathroom, like with these stupid cables running to the power points, and they always fall over because the stand's never heavy enough for the cable. Yeah,
and they send you a new battery with a new toothbrush head every 3 months too.
I really hope they're available in Australia. They are. $100, you're joking. $100 for a toothbrush.
Is that the one that connects to your phone though? Because I bet the regular one that doesn't pair to your phone is a lot cheaper.
Let's see. Electric brush and travel cover mount. Oh, here we go. $55. That's more reasonable. That's just for a standard one, I guess. I'm not seeing anything about Bluetooth or not Bluetooth. Or...
Is it solid black? The solid black one's the one that pairs to your phone.
Okay, $95. Even less than the other one, the first one I found. Ah, yeah, it's got the Bluetooth logo on it. Yeah, okay. This looks really nice.
Yeah.
Apple kills the iPhone 12 mini production due to poor sales. So, the writing seems to have been on the wall for a little while now because we've had various reports here and there, and the opposite, we've had various lack of mentions from Apple themselves when they're talking about sales statistics for the iPhone 12 variants. According to a little bit of research I did last night, the iPhone 12 regular, the iPhone 12 Pro, and the 12 Pro Max seem to have about equal amount of units sold. So there's a fairly even break between those three. And then the iPhone 12 mini is like a tiny little sliver of the pie that's dominated by the other three. So it seems like Apple didn't estimate correctly how many units we're going to sell. So they stopped production of it. Question remains whether we'll have an iPhone 12s mini. I would lean towards yes, because they did sell some, and you'd think like a relatively small amount of effort would go into producing a 12s mini on the equipment that's already there to produce the 12 mini. And considering that they're not even producing the 12 mini anymore, maybe that means it's even easier just to quickly adapt that for the 12s mini.
Yeah,
so,
I would imagine that when they were making this machinery, they budgeted at least 2 generations of it just as whatever their projections to recoup costs. And so they'll probably still want to do that.
I am pretty surprised that the 12 mini sold so poorly, because there was certainly a vocal demand for a smaller iPhone, and also it's the cheapest iPhone, the cheapest of the latest generation of iPhones. So people like to have the newest iPhone, and they also like to be cheap and not spend too much money. But apparently that crossover is not as great as I thought, and people who want the cheapest iPhone don't really care if it's the latest generation and just go and buy like what's still for sale, the iPhone 11 and the iPhone SE, the new one.
Right. Yeah, I think it's partially a marketing failure for them, because the most popular iPhone is the iPhone 12 Pro. That's the one that sold the most, the standard size 12 Pro. And the Mini is the cheapest of the new phones, and the name Mini kind of makes it sound like the small, lesser phone. If they had made it a Pro iPhone, but smaller, I think maybe more people would have bought it.
So you're saying an iPhone 12 Pro Mini would have done better?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a status thing, and that's because no one's buying the 12 Pro over the regular 12 because they really, really needed a LiDAR sensor, right? They're buying it because it's the Pro one, and they want to say they have the Pro.
That has to be true.
Yeah. So I think if it was the Mini had been called the Pro, that could have helped quite a bit. So I know that if everything, the naming does make a difference to me, but if features had been the same across the board, I would have gotten a Mini.
But the features of the 12 Mini and the 12 are the same. It's like almost spec for spec if you take out the size of the battery.
Right. So it's just the camera difference in this case, and that's what prompted me to get the Max over even the regular Pro this year. But yeah, otherwise I would have been loving my Mini. And for everyone else who just needs it as a status thing, I think calling it the Pro would have made a big difference.
So what about 2022? You have to think that there's not going to be an iPhone 13 mini. Considering like 6% or whatever it was of the sales breakdown was towards the mini phone, like there's got to be no way that they're interested in doing that again.
Yeah, no, I think you're completely right. This is a road Apple's gone down multiple times now, where they've responded to the very vocal minority of people who say they wish iPhones were smaller again, with the original SE and now with this, and both times they've stopped. They've either, the SE is now a much bigger phone, and the 12 mini is selling even worse than they anticipated, which I'm sure they were already anticipating it not being the best. So it seems like should have learned their lesson by this point now. But if they would have made it in stainless steel and charged $200 more for it, I think it would have sold better.
The Pro Mini.
Yep. Everyone would have wanted it.
Was that the last actual topic we've got? Yeah, it is. I'm James VD Emmett on Reddit and on Twitter.
And I'm Jellywoot on Reddit and Twitter.
And you can find the show notes at reddit.com/r/the_Apple Show. So there are some new Apple Watch International bands.
Yes. And they sold quick.
Is that why I can't find them?
Well, you should be able... let me go look. I haven't looked at apple.com or the actual Apple Watch bands section since the day they were announced. Are they not there anymore?
Oh no, here they are. See the... What do you mean they sold quick then? Shop the collection.
Yeah, so click into one. Pick New Zealand specifically. That's the one that I wanted to get that I wasn't able to because they're already sold out. But I know
so
others.
Firstly, when I look at the color swatches, I have no idea which country is which.
New Zealand is the only
and
black
secondly,
one.
why do you want New Zealand?
Because it's a cool black and white combination that I really liked.
Huh, okay. Alright, New Zealand, 44mm. Add to bag. What's the issue?
Okay, well, let me click and look. So if I go to New Zealand, 44mm, I get currently unavailable. I can't even add it to my bag. Maybe it's a US versus Australia thing.
Would you like me to buy it for you and send it to you?
No, that's okay. I already bought two other bands. I got the US one, and actually they both got delivered today, so I can talk about them. I got the US one. Honestly, I thought the US one was one of the not good looking ones. I thought it was one of the worst ones, but it's Independence Day for us in 2 days, and I thought it'd be a fun one to wear for that.
Nice.
So I bought it for that, and I got Sweden because
Again, I have no idea which one is Sweden. Let me just mouse over every single one until I find.
It's a light blue and yellow one.
Okay. Oh, they're in alphabetical order. Okay, that'll make it easier next time. Oh yeah, that looks like something you'd wear to the beach.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It matches. I have sunglasses the same color, light blue frames with yellow lenses, and a summery shirt that same color, light blue with yellow rubber ducks on it. And I thought that'd be a whole look I could put together and match all of that.
Perfect.
Yep. So, but honestly, most of these bands I think look really good, and I would have probably bought a whole bunch of them if they weren't $50 a piece.
Yeah, pricey.
Yep.
Sports Loop has got to be my favorite band. The only two drawbacks to it is that it does collect water, unlike some of the others, and also collect sand at the beach. The sand grains just get stuck amongst all the little threads or whatever you call it. Besides that, definitely my favorite. Thank you for sending it to me, because this was your old band, wasn't it? The black one, which I still have on.
Yeah. And I was going to replace it finally with a black New Zealand one, but they sold out in the US. I actually think the Sport Loop is one of my least favorite bands.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I like the more traditional, the metal clasp bands. In fact, I was really disappointed when they got rid of the classic buckle. Is that what it's called? It was the leather. It was just the classic watch band that's made of leather with a metal clasp, and you just can't get those anymore. So
what about the leather loop? Is that still kicking around? Because that was a real favorite of mine, except that it just wore a little too quickly.
Yes, or at least it was. Let me look. Yeah, so the leather loop is still around. I agree that was one of my favorites, but they've got the leather link now, which is way better.
Oh yeah, nice.
It's like
and they're cheaper as well.
Leather loop.
For half the price almost.
I don't know what.
Oh, the loops are still here as well. Oh
yeah,
no, and only $140. They're the same price. Okay.
But
Must
yeah,
have been thinking of something else.
they used to be 150 here US, and now they're 99. So I don't know how that translates.
Yeah,
to
there
you.
must have been a price drop then.
Yeah, but the leather link ones are just chunkier, and they don't fall apart as quickly. I think my second, I like the Nike sport bands.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are really breathable. I like the few that I have of those. The classic, do they not even have the sport?
Yeah, they still have the original sport band, if that's what you're going for.
I was looking for they don't have these anymore either. The sport bands that had the classic buckle latch on them as well. Those are gone too.
No, they don't. They never had those.
Yeah, they did.
The sport band with the classic buckle.
It's plastic. It wasn't metal. But yeah, they had them because I've got a few of them. Their Pride band 2 years ago was in that design.
Let me have a look.
Yeah, but everything with a classic, like just pin and hole, is gone now.
No, it's not. I can still see it there.
Not metal pin going through a hole, like the traditional clasp of a watch pin. I don't know what the words are. Like the Hermes bands.
I think we're talking about something else. Let me just look at.
Okay.
Are you talking about the nylon?
Yes.
The nylon bands. Yes.
Yeah. Those are.
They
gone.
were excellent.
I like those quite a bit.
Yes, they only downside is they also collected water, and I found they lost color after a few years. But apart from that, they were top bands. Very secure, very comfortable, quite breathable.
Mm-hmm. I will say that the braided solo loop I like quite a bit. I think it's the one I wear the most. I think mostly because I really like the colorful Pride pattern on this one. But they stretch.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. I think my first month, not even a month, I haven't had it for a month. My first few weeks wearing it, it fit perfect. It was great. And now it's just a little loose, and it slides up and down my arm, and it drives me crazy.
Oh, yeah, that's no good.
Yeah.
Maybe you could put it in the dryer and it'll shrink.
Maybe. I guess I'd give it a shot. Hopefully there's nothing that would get too damaged on here. I'll put it in like a pants pocket and then put it in the dryer.
Okay. I just noticed as I was looking at this article that the ECG has just come to Australia. So finally that's been approved by whatever our medical body is that would approve such things.
Like it's there now? Or it's coming?
As in it's there now. They turned it on.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So now you got another reason to upgrade your watch.
Yeah, I do. Pretty interested to see what the next watch will look like, as always. So at this time of the year, I would probably wait until September at least.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Now is a bad time to buy anything.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, and you'll have a practically brand new watch that you could try to sell if you wanted to replace it too.
I have a sad story.
Oh no. What's your sad
Johannes
story?
likes wearing the watch.
Uh-huh.
And he was wearing it. I only let him put it on for like 5 minutes, then I take it back.
Mm-hmm.
But he put it on, and he came back, and he had very, very badly scratched the bottom part of the screen, so it could not pass as a new watch anymore, despite being just months old.
Really?
Yeah. I was very disappointed with that.
What on earth did he find to scratch the sapphire screen?
It was the floor of a boat. It's quite textured.
Uh-huh.
We were on a boat at the time.
Wow.
And it's basically made out of sandpaper, the floor of boats.
Right.
Because they get wet and you don't want to fall over. So, yeah. He sandpapered the bottom of the screen, more or less.
That's too bad. I found that the screens on on the stainless steel watches are especially resilient.
Yeah.
So, and that's the only reason that I've kept going back to them. I would have probably gotten one of the fun, colorful aluminum ones in this last year if it didn't mean stepping down from the nicer sapphire cover.
Yeah. Okay. I've never had too much of a problem. I mean, I've pretty much scratched the face of every watch I've had, including this one.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't notice anything more or less on the different display materials.
Oh, really? Did you have an aluminum Apple Watch initially?
Not before this one. No, they've always been sports.
So you did have an aluminum one.
Yeah, all the ones previous to this one were
Okay.
aluminium.
Yeah. I don't even think they're called sports anymore. They
No.
dropped that branding.
Yes, they did. I told you that.
I'm sure you did. Maybe you treat all your watches more aggressively than I do, but when I had the sport watches, I badly scratched the screen on one, and then shattered the screen on another, and then ever since I switched to stainless steel watches, they've looked brand new for the entire time I've owned them.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I'm not rubbing them on the floor of boats, though, so.
No, normally I avoid that part as well.
So my daughter, when she was maybe a year old, did that not on a boat, but just like across the tile floor to an iPhone 6.
Oh,
It was her mom's, and she just like put it face down, and she was crawling, so she had her hands on the phone and was using the phone to slide across the floor while she was crawling, and just destroyed the screen on it.
oh, great.
Yeah. So, well, I think it's going to be a slow couple months in terms of Apple news, because we're not due for any announcements until probably around September.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll combine MacBook, AirPods, and iPhone in September, or if they do like the more traditional iPhone in September, then something else in October, November. Or maybe we'll just get really lucky and there'll just be some like random August AirPod and Mac event.
Yeah, they have been doing some kind of off-month stuff. They've got a lot to announce, because I assume there's rumors going around that we'll see an updated iPad mini, but even if we don't, there's still just general iPad updates that need to be done this year. We got iPhone and Apple Watch, these new MacBook Pros at least, and then hopefully they've got some other Apple Silicon announcement as well before the end of the year. I'd love to see either the bigger iMac or like that mini Mac Pro that's kind of been rumored on and off. One of those would be cool to see.
Yeah. This could be the calm before the storm then.
Yeah.
This July, August time of the year.
Yeah.
Although, the rumour mill's going to start winding up to full power towards September.
We're going to have a whole slew of announcements leading us right into our 100th episode.
Ooh. When is that due?
Beginning of December.
Cool.
So we got some time to plan something exciting for that.
Yeah, okay. I'll start thinking about it.